Today's boring business is a cannabis testing laboratory, cash flowing just under $1.4 million a year. Let's review the numbers as listed on the listing. The ask price here from the seller is $6.9 million. There's $4.3 million of gross revenue, and the seller is also estimating $1.2 million in equipment included in the transaction. As a starting valuation, that's 5.1 times annual cash flow. What does the company do? This is a full service cannabis testing laboratory working on both cannabis, hemp, and also CBD products. The company identifies contaminants and ensures compliance with state regulations for growers. Their customers include cultivation centers and also distributors in California. Looking at metrics here as listed, they operate at a 32% cash flow margin. For monthly numbers, it's just over $360,000 a month in sales and just over $100,000 in cash flow. For multiples, given this is $1.3 million of cash flow, it sits somewhere between the 2.9 and 5.6 range we have below. Ultimately, it's to the higher end of the range. Given there's $1.2 million of equipment included, you might want to look at this as some of the parts. Looking at it this way, the business is worth 4.2x plus $1.2 million in just equipment value. They can kind of separate out and get a better idea. Ultimately, you're going to pay what the seller is listing it for or what they agree upon. Below is a potential deal with seller financing and cash. Note, we left off any SBA lending here because traditionally SBA has not lended to cannabis, but this is a testing company, so maybe it falls in a different category. As you can see here, the SBA does not typically lend to cannabis companies. Given it's a testing company, it may be eligible, but most likely not, so we're on the conservative side. Finally, here's potential cash to the new owner after debt payments and new capex and spending. Make sure to consider these categories as well when doing your adjustments and estimations. Assuming the seller financing deal, here's some back of the envelope math for the numbers as listed by the seller. Now moving on to notable highlights. It notes here they're certified by the Department of Cannabis Control, the DCC, which could be an important license. A quick search on Meta AI will point out this process can take a year or more and also cost up to $50,000. So you're picking up some value in the deal by moving over the certification. There also could be limited competition given it's by state licensing. This laboratory is only one of 59 in all of California right now. And finally, there's a lot of state-of-the-art equipment included as advertised by the seller, valued at $1.2 million you want to dig into. Moving on to concerns. One thing you notice is the seller here is offering 4 weeks of training. You want to try and get that up to at least 3 months plus, so you make sure you have a good transition in place. We also mentioned it earlier, but given you'll be in this industry, be vulnerable to any kind of changes in industry regulations. Keep that in mind during underwriting. And finally, look out for limited financing options, given the limits on cannabis lending from banks. For location, this one's based in California. If you want us to send the direct link, just comment 196, like the video, and the auto DM should come via DMs. Otherwise, we also have a link in bio option next. If the direct DM doesn't work, you can always access via our link in bio. We post all links there, no paywall. Disclaimer, this is for informational purposes only. Please do your own research. You can lose more than 100% of what you put in.